So one rig that's won me more money than any other is probably the Edge rig I've got on today. So I'm at Boldings pools today and we're fishing for some F1s and carp in the Edge. So I'm just going to show you where I'm plumbing up to start with, because that's really, really important. So I'm just going to get to my little spot, and it's just a little hot spot down here, just in the middle of some reeds. So I'm just going to bounce my plummet around, and it's lovely. You can see it's just a gradual slope up to the edge. It's gradually sloping away. And I really take my time to do this in a match. Make sure I'm not fishing on any rocks or on any boulders, fishing over a nice flat spot. Because if you are fishing on any boulders and rocks, it's quite likely that your hook bait can fall in between the rocks, and a fish comes in and tries to get to your hook bait and can't, and you end up foul looking one. So it's really important just to make sure you're fishing over a nice little flat spot, and this is a perfect little spot today. Really nice and flat, nice and clean, next to the bank as well, so the fish can't get behind your rig. That's really important also, because obviously if you're fishing away from the bank like here, there, you know, they can get behind your rig and everything, and you can end up foul looking them. So really important that you got a nice flat spot, nice and tight to the bank like here, and it's absolutely perfect that today. Just plumb to the bodies out of the water. So I'll just run you through the rig really, really quickly, starting with the actual hook length. Now I've actually just got 3 inches of 015 power line just to a 16 GPMB hook, a little bit lighter than what I'd use in the middle of summer, but still very much strong enough to land the carp and F1s I plan to land today. And matching to this, I've just got a little bulk of stots. I've got 6 number 8 stots here on 021 power line main line, running up to a 0.4 Edge Diamond float, really strong float, glass stem, never going to break, and it's got a 3mm hollow bristle, so you don't strike at liners and things like that. It's just the absolute perfect edge float for big carp. And I've just got 2 number 8 back shot running up the actual rig, and I've just got 13 Duraslip in a short kit. So absolutely perfect for edge fishing for carp. And so I'm actually just going to start fishing now. We have actually already fed there earlier on. I'm just deciding I'm going to start on a grain of corn, just a single grain of corn. So I've just got my medium guru pot on to start with, and I'm just going to fill them up with micros. And I actually have 3 different pots that I use to feed in the edge. So now I've got my medium one on, I've got a large one, and I've got a paste pot on, and it all depends on if I need to feed more to get one to come into the margins, to be honest. Today I've fed and its fishing's been really good, so I'm expecting this medium pot to be good enough. But if the fish aren't coming in the edge, I won't hesitate to change to the large pot or the paste pot and feed lots of bait and get them coming in the peg. So let's go out now, and I've actually cut holes out in all 3 of these pots, just at the base of the pot. So when I feed my bait, like now, so I'm just going to get to my spot, put my pot under the water, let all the micros fall out in one little heap, and put my rig straight on top of it. Those holes just help to release the bait a little bit faster, and I can get my rig right on top of it and ready to nail a big fish, hopefully. Ooh, that was a missed bite. Probably a liner, to be honest. I've just took my back shot into the bank. So my rig's pinned to that bank so the fish can't get behind my float, so I'm reducing the chance of foul looking one. Obviously if I fished away from the bank today, with how many fish are coming in the peg, it'd be a bit deeper, they'd be a bit more confident, but then they can get everywhere around my float and they can push my bait everywhere, and I'm very likely to foul look one. I've just hooked an F1 there, beautiful. That beautifully sat over that little pile. He went straight under with an F1. And I've caught some brilliant fish here at Boldings today. Now, this is a massive F1, probably £3. Beautiful fish. Hooked perfectly in the top of the mouth. Come on, open up. Yep, beautiful F1. And now it's just all about repeating the process. So I'll show you what I'll do again. Today I'm just putting maggots or corn on the hook. I caught that one on maggots, so we'll try maggots again. 3 white maggots I've gone for. I'm just going to fill that pot up with micros again. Ship out. And when I get to my spot, put the pot under the water, let all the bait fall out, like so, and drag my rig right on top really fast because there's lots of fish coming in the peg, and took those back shots right tight into the bank, so my rig's pinned now as tight to the bank as I can get it, and I've just hooked an F1. It's a very, very docile F1, but straight away another F1, just pulling him around this weed bed I'm fishing over. It's the least fighting F1 I've ever caught, I think. Hey up. He's just woken up there. No, not really woken up. Probably another £2, and you can see how fast you can catch in the margins, and you'll also realise lots of the fish are a lot bigger. Even the F1s out in the lake shallow today, we're catching about £1 each, and obviously in the margins, £2–3 though. Hopefully we can catch a carp. We're trying to catch carp really. Again, just 3 maggots on the hook. Pot of micros, and to be honest, the only time I'd use that big pot is when you can't get them coming in the peg with just a small pot on. That's when it's time to try big potting, is when you can't get them coming in the peg with these little pots. But today there's enough fish coming in with these little pots, so I'm just fishing with these. And again, it's just about repeating that process, get that rig in position as fast as you can and waiting for a bite. I shouldn't have struck then, that was a liner, it didn't really shoot under. You should wait for really fast bites. I didn't do it correctly then. Struck too early really. Again, it was a liner. There we go, got one. Just another F1. You can see how fast though, I'd be able to wait in a match now at the end. Perfect. Right, this time I'm going to put a piece of corn on, see if we can nail you a carp. There's lots of fish down the edge. Maybe the F1s are that ravenous today, I'm not going to get to a carp, but we'll give it a go. Just got a grain of corn on this time, just going to put a bit of corn in the pot actually. Some micros. Get to the spot. I think that's actually a carp, I can see in my margins now. Just going to put pot under water, drag the float on top of it, set the trap real fast. I think I'm actually over a fish at the minute. Just another F1 again, it's absolutely solid. I think there was a carp there though, but the F1's that ravenous today. Another nice F1. £2 probably, maybe a bit bigger. Beautiful fish. Right, I'm going to try this time. I'm just going to put a bigger pot on. So I'm just going to put my grain of corn on again, looking for a big grain. I'm just going to change to a bigger pot. I'm going to change to that large pot just to see if I can catch a carp. Maybe they need more bait, so just a few grains of corn, 4 or 5 in there, and a few more micros. And this pot here probably holds another half again of that pot of bait, so a bit more. And hopefully we can entice a little carp. Well, hopefully a big carp. Oh, I can see a fish in the way, so I don't want to go in and drop my rig on top of him. I can't see where he is. Try not to drop it on top of him. Feed my bait. I'll float on top of it. Lots of indications on my float, but I'm just waiting for that real fast bite if I can. Just another F1, I believe. Lots of fish in my margins. I don't think people, oh no, I've still got a grain of corn on, we'll have another go. Don't think I'm going to get to a carp, to be honest. There's that many F1s there. This rig is so good for margin fishing because it is on really durable line to start with. It's got 021 power line, so it's really super strong. Like, obviously at the end of these matches, that's when you're fishing down the edges and you need to make the most of it. So I've got 021 power line on this rig, really strong, never going to break. So important at the end of matches. You don't want to be having your rig snapping at the end. So fishing 021 power line. And another really important factor of this rig is the actual float itself. So it's a 0.4 Edge Diamond from Mick Wilkinson, and it has a glass stem, and glass is really good. Like, it sits so fast, it sits really nice, and it is, obviously, as you can see today, it's important to get your rig in the water really fast so you don't foul hook a fish, basically. So it's got that nice glass stem, it's got a diamond body, and then it's got a power eye as well. And that power eye is good as well. It's another important factor. Obviously, if you foul hook a fish or you're catching loads of fish, you don't want your eye to pull out at the last minute, and that power eye on it never ever pulls out. And then the most important part of the float itself is actually the bristle. So the bristle itself is 3mm, really thick, hollow bristle, and I shot it so it's about half the bristle, so lots of bristle showing, because you don't want to be striking at liners, you don't want to be foul hooking them, you want to be catching as many in the mouth as you can, really. So really important, nice strong float, nice big thick tip. And then the next really important part is then back shot, just to really anchor the rig against the banks where you're fishing and keep that rig nice and tight over your pile. One other thing I forgot to mention about this float is they do them in different sizes, but for pretty much all of my margin fishing, I just stick to this 0.4. Obviously it settles really, really fast. You miss a bite or you feed your bait and you need to get in, it just fishes so fast and effectively. So that's really important. Don't use, like, because obviously you're fishing only like 18 inches of water, like you'd think a 0.2 float would be good. But it's just too light. It would waft everywhere, waft away from a pile. And this 0.4 just sits perfectly over your little trap waiting for a fast bite. Like so. The F1s are absolutely ravenous today. I say F1s. Hey up, I've got myself a carp. Took a while, everyone, but I think we'll probably end on this one because I don't think I'm going to get another carp. There's that many F1s feeding. It's a lovely big carp, this is. Lovely big common carp. It's been brilliant, so I hope you've seen the effectiveness of this rig, and I absolutely love it. Hey up, big F1. Big F1, big carp. Oh, don't swim out, man, don't swim out. Yeah, a lovely big carp, probably £7 him, £7–8, and a lovely fish to end this edge fishing session. Come on, calm down. Right, so a lovely fish to finish on. As you can see, there he is, a lovely, probably £8 common carp. So I hope you've enjoyed those edge fishing tips I've given you, and the actual rig I've used is actually on this rig strip here. All of the details and the features is made up for you on here. The float, the line, the shots, absolutely everything, even the hook length and match up with it. And yeah, it's available on these rig strips from my carp range.